What's up everybody, Matt Maran here for another car review. This is of course the 2018 Volvo XC60 T8 Inscription. Huge thanks to Volvo for providing us with this very nice XC60 to review for you guys today.
Also, huge thanks to the Automotive Video Association for arranging this car and 11 other awesome cars and SUVs for the first ever Automotive Video Awards, which brings 6 of the best car reviewers in video and myself together to decide which is the best performance car and performance SUV of the year.
So about the XC60, well, it has the same great Volvo looks as all the current Volvo models with the Thor's hammer headlights that look great. And, it's a very attractive yet still conservative, not over the top styling that just, I think, looks so good. In every application Volvo's put it in, it just looks so great. You have the signature Volvo taillights there in the back that run up and down the rear there. And overall, it's just a really good looking thing. And this one being the T8, you have the additional little charge door here for the electric charging port. And then, otherwise, it just looks really good here in the Inscription trim. You have the nice little chrome down towards the running boards there. And overall, it's a really nice looking SUV.
Right, for the interior of the Volvo XC60 Inscription. Well, it is so nice. This is my first time reviewing one of these new gen Volvos. And man, they are just, the interiors on these things are right up there with Audi and Mercedes among the best in the whole auto industry. I mean, I absolutely love it. But anyway, first things first, sitting down in these seats, very nice, soft, supple leather seats here. Some of the softest seats I've felt in a while in any kind of vehicle. They're just really impressive seats. Nice and good support as well. Now here in the T8 Inscription, it has adjustable bolstering, so you can make it as wide or as tight as you'd like, within certain parameters. But this one even has, the heated and cooled seats, and they're even massage seats, which is just really very nice to even have that option here in this segment of mid-size SUVs. That's not offered in most of the competitors. So to have that massage seats is awesome. And I'll be testing those out here as I start driving. But overall, just really great seats. Next to the steering wheel in the XC60, which is really nice and actually a little sportier than I was expecting here in the T8 model. Has a really nice 9-3 grip, nice 10-2 notches, a little bit of a thicker wheel as well, which is much appreciated. And it's very simple. You just have a couple of buttons here for cruise control and to control, your other basic things here on the right-hand side. And a very simple wheel and overall, well done. Next to the gauges, which are really sweet. It's a full digital display and they look really good. There isn't as much customization, or they're not as high-tech as the stuff from Audi and a couple of others, but they are still very nice. And you still can have the map in the middle of the cluster there, which is great to have. And then you have your 2 gauges on the left and the right that give you all your basics. And since this is the T8 version, it's the hybrid version with the electric mode and all that kind of stuff. So that tachometer will switch between whatever driving mode you're in, however it's currently operating, so that it's showing you either your EV power, your engine RPM, whatever. And so overall, it's a little bit confusing once you first hop in this, but after a while, you get used to it. Coming over to the center of the dashboard here, first, right up top, you have the optional Bowers & Wilkins sound system, one of the speakers for it, which is a really nice decorative piece up there, in addition to being, an actual speaker that helps this sound system to sound really good. And then you come down to this large tablet-style vertical screen that is really probably the best out of all these screens outside of Tesla that I've seen. It's just so quick and responsive with swiping, and everything is very quick and snappy as far as the processor or whatever it has. It pulls up all the menus very quickly. Everything is really snappy, and honestly, I think that all the other car companies out there could really learn a lot from Volvo's system here. It's really great. It has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, capability built right in, and everything is differently set up from all the others, but it's in a very logical way. And again, takes some getting used to. Volvo does things a little bit differently than the rest, so it definitely is something. There's a learning curve to it, but overall I'm loving it so far. And then other than the screen, you just have one knob for volume, and then it's a play and pause button as well, and some skip track buttons there next to it, and that's basically it. So very simple and uncluttered with this whole center, and it's just really refreshing. And then you come back to the shifter, which is this beautiful glass crystal type shifter, and it's very small, just looks great, and it's just so cool looking. And then you also have this engine stop start button, which is not actually a button, but it's a twist knob, and you twist it to start the vehicle and turn it off, which is very interesting. But a beautiful knurled metal finish here on it as well, that's different than the typical metal knobs you see on other vehicles of this caliber. But it's just a really cool diamond cut finish to it that is just really nice to look at and to touch. You also have more of that same finish for this drive mode roller selector, which is also very cool. And there's a bunch of different drive modes, as far as there's pure for more of an electric mode, there's hybrid for everyday use, then there's the power mode, which gives you the maximum propulsion out of this vehicle. And but yeah, otherwise, you know, you just have a couple of buttons here for parking brake and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, just very few buttons in this interior, but it just looks so nice that way. As far as storage space in the XC60, it's really good. First, in the doors here, you have a large map pocket that's really wide, and you can also have a bottle holder in there as well. Coming over to the center here, you have two cup holders and another little spot in front of it. A power outlet is there as well, and then you have this other little thing that's covering another little cubby. You can fit like the key or something like that in there. Pretty small, but nice nonetheless. And also, there's a huge cover that's made out of this very nice wood that you also see on the dashboard, and that covers the cup holders and stuff if you don't like seeing those. And then you have the center armrest, which is you know, firm, but has a little bit of a soft padding to it, and very nice leather nonetheless. And anyway, you open that up, and you have a fairly shallow but a decently sized center cubby there. You can still fit sunglasses and things like that in there. You also have two USB jacks in there as well, so good to have all that. But I'm just so impressed with this interior. Everything about it just is so soft to the touch, other than this plastic right around the transmission column. But everything else on the doors, I mean, even the tops of the doors are a very nice feeling material. The top of the dashboard, all this wood, you can actually feel the grain in the wood. Everything is just so nice in here. It's just really impressive. Backseat space in the XC60 is pretty good and right in line with most of the competition. I'm 5'9", me sitting behind myself. I still have about 3 or 4 inches of legroom there to spare, and plenty of headroom, of course, especially with that panoramic roof. You just have a ton of space, but it's just, they're so comfortable. Again, the leather, and especially on those back seats, is even softer, I think, than the front, and just a really great back seat to sit in. That's right up there with some of the nicest luxury sedans as far as back seats go. Just so soft and comfortable. You also will see your heated seat controls towards the front of the back seats there, and you'll also have, you know, a power outlet there, but there is no air vents. That's the only thing that's excluded here for the back seats, but otherwise, you know, you do have air vents there by the B pillars that come out, and so I think they have those instead of something in the center, and so at least there is some additional airflow back there for rear passengers. Trunk space in the XC60 is quite good, again, right in line with the competitors. The only thing that's different is that the floor isn't quite as deep compared to some of the others. I think that's partially because of the electric motors and batteries going on there in the back, but it's still, I mean, right on par with all the other SUVs in this segment for the most part. It's a very long, you know, area. You can fit plenty of suitcases. You know, you can stack them up and easily fit, you know, 4 suitcases in there without a problem, I think. And so overall, a really great hatch area that is, of course, power lift gate for up and down too. So it's nice and hands-free. All right, so start and go for a drive. The Volvo, again, has one of the nicest keys in the industry. Look at that. It's like an actual leather material on it. You have the very cool metal buttons on the sides for locking and unlocking it. Just, again, another very unique take on something that Volvo does here that's way different than the rest, and is just so nice. But anyway, it's keyless entry, push button start, of course. So you just leave the key in your pocket, and like I said, you twist this engine stop start button, and the batteries come on, and it says it's ready. Alright, so setting off in the 2018 Volvo XC60. Well, I'm currently driving on electricity alone. It's in the hybrid mode. There is a pure EV mode where you have about 20 miles of fully electric range with the battery fully charged, but this is primarily just a hybrid. And it's kind of cool with this gauge cluster because it'll like kind of coach you, and you know, if you keep the throttle under a certain limit, then it'll stay in electric mode, and then if you go a little bit further, then it kicks on the gasoline engine. But yeah, so anyway, with the motor off, it is so quiet in here. It's kind of crazy, you know, it's just so refined. All you hear is a tiny bit of wind noise, and that's it. There really is a very minimal amount of road noise here. It's just very serene in here. It's really nice. Other things to note, visibility is excellent. Of course, we're in a Volvo. Safety is the #1 priority really with them. And so you have a huge windshield you can easily see out of. View out of the sides is great as well, and view out of the back is also very good. And of course, you have all the safety systems you could ask for, you know, with backup cameras, 360 view, you know, it has the lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, autonomous braking, all that kind of stuff. So keeps you very safe in every way it can possibly do that. One thing that is interesting though is the regenerative braking. So, you know, it definitely uses those brakes to recharge the battery whenever it can. And it's a strange feeling you definitely have to get used to, because at first it feels like it's a really grabby brake pedal and you're like, oh, I didn't want that much brake. But after a while you kind of learn how to, you know, feather it so that it's, you know, a normal braking feel and pressure. Just cruising on a main road now at some higher speeds. You know, you still definitely have a little bit more road noise, but it's amazing how it will still keep it in that electric mode as long as it can until, you know, it needs to kick on that gasoline engine. So it's very fuel efficient, I'm sure. All right, so now I switched into the power mode. The gasoline engine is on. Let's turn down to the straight road here, see how it does. Here we go. Whoo! This electric motor's helping us out. Oh, this thing tears down the road. So the XC60 with this T8 motor it's a very interesting powertrain. It has an inline 4-cylinder engine that is turbocharged and supercharged, and then there is also an electric motor powering the rear wheels with additional power. And so all total we have 400 horsepower combined, 479 pound-feet of torque, I believe. So just an absolute boatload of torque. Do another acceleration. Wow, it's actually chirped the rear tires there. Holy crap! And it just takes off. Good grief, this thing is quick. So 0 to 60 for these things is actually 4.9 seconds. So again, you know, although this is hybrid and whatnot, it is not slow, it is not boring whatsoever. So man, that's the glorious thing with these electric motors, is they do provide the torque, that's for sure. So yeah, definitely fun. But those batteries and that whole electric setup does come at a weight penalty. So a normal T6 version of the XC60 weighs just over 4,000 pounds. This electric motor and the batteries make up an additional around 550 pounds of weight. So this one is almost 4,600 pounds now with all that hybrid stuff. So yeah, it's definitely, you know, might not be quite as good in the corners here, but we'll go on some corners here on this back road now and see how it does. So one of the things I'm noticing is, even though I am in the power mode and the sporty mode here, the steering weight still is a little bit on the light side. It doesn't feel super sporty, but it is still, you know, very sharp, precise steering though, and you definitely do have a little more lean and body roll though. Now this is not the R design model. I believe that has a slightly more sporty suspension setup. This is the Inscription one, which is the more luxurious one. So you can certainly feel that in the corners, even just, you know, on milder corners here. I'm not even going super fast or pushing it super hard, but I can immediately start feeling the lean there. And you know, although all that electric stuff is down low in the vehicle, it still just has a little bit of a higher center of gravity here, and so you can feel that for sure. But whenever you do hear that motor, it does sound pretty cool too. You get a little bit of a supercharger whine even out of it there, and it's a really cool little 4-cylinder that's just being pushed to the limit though. I mean, to be turbocharged and supercharged, it's the best of both worlds. It has that great mid-range punch you get with turbos, but it also has the immediate response that you get with a supercharger, and it's a really cool setup. Again, I just love how Volvo does things differently, and it makes a lot of sense. You know, I wish there was other companies that adapted both forms with their own motors, because that way you get the best of both worlds. And it's just a pretty crazy setup to have a little 2-liter 4-cylinder that with the electric motors is doing 479 pound-feet of torque. It's just crazy. But other things to note here, yeah, these brakes, you still got to get used to them even at higher speeds here. They're a little grabby. It's just, again, something you kind of got to learn how to properly use, but it's not a big deal by any means. But the ride is also pretty smooth here, you know, even in this power mode. It's a little bit stiffer than some of the others, but not too bad at all. But I'm telling you what, now, like, I just drove the SQ5 Audi, and you know, I'm telling you what, this definitely feels quicker than that, you know. I mean, that's got a nice turbo motor as well, but those electric motors really, it's the future, and it really does go a long way into really planting you in the back of your seat and giving you that exciting thrill that you look for with straight line performance. All right, so now I'm on a mountain road here, corner carving, while I have back massage going. Tell you what, this is the life in this beautiful Volvo interior. It's just really great. But I'm telling you what, this thing, it does handle pretty good, but I still, you know, I would certainly be looking forward to a Polestar version or something if you want, you know, a sportier suspension setup, because this is definitely a little bit more floaty. You know, definitely has way more power than it has handling, I think. It's a little lopsided in that regard, but that's okay, because, you know, you can always improve suspension and whatnot, and it's not too hard to do. But I gotta say, the massage seats are very nice. It's one of the best massages out there that I've experienced so far in the cars that I've reviewed. You know, it has a bunch of different modes for tread and swell and different intensities and speeds, and you know, everything you could really you know, want out of a massage seat. This does it. And overall, it's just a really nice thing to use. Another acceleration. This thing is a blast. Oh man, one thing that whenever you are like reversing and you know maneuvering around at, you know, parking lots and stuff, you do have to double click this little shifter each time you want to go into reverse or drive. You have to bypass neutral each time, and I wish you could just like pull it really hard and get all the way down, but you always have to do a double tap, at least that I've seen so far. I wish there was a little more you know, it was a quicker action or something, so you could skip past neutral each time. But yeah, other things to note here. It's just, like I said, it's a very refined thing. The visibility is quite good though. The more that I drive, the more that it really, you appreciate. The A-pillars are actually quite thin. The hood really drops down. I mean, you can see a beautiful view like this. You can see very well out of it. And even on a rougher road like this is where this softer suspension really comes in ace, because you know, on really rough pavement, even like this, it's a buttery smooth ride still. It's amazing how well it soaks up all these road imperfections. And so although it might not be the sportiest of setups, if you want something that's a little bit softer but still has a ton of power, then this is certainly the choice for you. I think, you know, the Audi definitely has the better suspension setup, but is down on power. This doesn't have as good of a suspension setup, but you got plenty of power, and it's quicker in a straight line by every parameter than the Audi. And so overall, I'm really impressed with this Volvo. I hope that these things sell really well for them, because they deserve it. This is a really well-made, really fun and beautiful vehicle in just about every way, but it's certainly the least sporty as far as suspension goes. The more that I push it, the more I kind of don't want to push it. I kind of just want to relax and do full throttle pulls, and then just enjoy my back massage and Bowers and Wilkins sound system, and just kind of chill in this vehicle, because it is kind of more of a relaxed you know, driving experience as far as the smooth ride and whatnot. So probably not the sportingest of options, but still a very fun option nonetheless. One last acceleration. The Volvo here is just too much fun. Here we go. Oh, it's great. You got that nice growl of that engine. You hear the whine of the supercharger and the whine of the electric motors. It's just a really cool thing. It just sounds like the future. But yeah, that's about it as far as all my thoughts here on the XC60. It's just a really cool choice. It's just different. It's different in every way. The interior is set up differently. Everything is completely different in its approach as far as power and how it does everything. But it's such a refreshing, cool, different approach that I think a lot of people really appreciate it. And overall, it's just a really well done job by Volvo. So anyway, let me know your thoughts on the Volvo XC60 T8 in the comments below. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.